will just be annoying.
So we're going to talk about turn and degrees. And basically, turn and degrees is just fractions. And you've learned about fractions a long time ago. You talked about fractions as pizza slices. And so when we look at these circles, they're going to remind us of pizzas. And we're going to make a fraction, the number of shaded slices over the total number of slices in the pizza. So if I look at this pizza, do you agree that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slices of pizza total? And shaded in was 1, 2, 3 pieces of pizza. So 3/8 of the circle is shaded. This one looks like a clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sure enough, 12 slices of pizza. And I believe there are 8 slices shaded. What do we do when we see a fraction like 8/12? We always have to, you're right, reduce it, right? So we always want to reduce our fractions to lowest terms. So 2/3 of the pizza is shaded. This pizza here, 5, 6 slices total, 2 are shaded. And again, we're going to reduce our fraction to 1/3. And here they have us draw one with 5/8 of a turn. So I'm going to split my pizza. I usually split into 4 slices and then kind of split each thing again into 8 slices. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slices and shade those in. So I'm drawing a pizza that's got 5/8 of the pizza shaded. So that's something that we learned in elementary school, middle school. We're real comfortable with that. Now we're going to relate it to a circle. Who remembers how many degrees are in a circle? You're right, 360 degrees. And so if I have let's say, let's draw it first. One whole circle here is 360 degrees. How many degrees would half a circle be? You're right, 180 degrees. So what we did is we took half of 360, right? And do you remember what the word of always means in math? Always means times, right? So when we're going to change from turn to degrees, we're basically just going to times by 360. So if I have 1/4 of a pizza or 1/4 of a circle and I times it by 360, and maybe I'll write it like that, 360 over 1, that's the same thing as 360 divided by 4, right? Multiplying by 1/4, same as dividing by 4, so that's 90 degrees. Now you can use a calculator to help you with this if you want. 3/5 times 360. If you don't have a calculator, you might remember something called cross-canceling, right? We would say 5 goes into 360 72 times, and then 3 times 72 is 216. Or you could just type that on a calculator. Here, if I have 4/9 times 360 over 1, I could say, 9 goes into 36 4 times, so 9 goes into 360 40 times, and then I have 160 degrees. And 7/12 times 360, 12 goes into 360 30 times, and 7 times 30 is 210. So you could do them on a calculator, but we'll keep them nice and easy like this, where you could do the cross-canceling on your own. So that's going from turn to degrees times by 360. If we reverse it and we go from degrees to turn, we're going to divide by 360. Just the opposite of timesing is dividing. And you might remember that dividing is really the same thing as a fraction. So if we go back to our example of 180 degrees is half a turn, which is what I have right here, 180 divided by 360, that fraction will reduce to 1/2. So all you do is take the degrees and divide it as a fraction over 360. Now sometimes we don't know how it reduces, so maybe I'll just divide both sides by 10, and then maybe divide top and bottom by 6, and so I would get 4/9. If you're doing this on a calculator, you could type in 240 divided by 360, and then somewhere in your calculator is a key that says change to frac, and that would do that for you. Divide it to 4/9. 288, that's a little bit of a tougher one to do by hand. Let's see, I'm going to divide top and bottom by 4. So 288 divided by 4 is 72. 360 divided by 4 is 90. And then maybe divide top and bottom by 9, and I would get 8/10. And then finally I can divide top and bottom by 2 and get 4/5. Maybe it was an easier way to do that, but sometimes you don't know and you just do it a little bit at a time. Last one is 50/360, and I believe I would just divide top and bottom by 10, 5/36. Changing degrees to turn and degrees.